Hi guys, I'm going to make a Thanksgiving card. About 2.5 years ago, I bought this from Tuesday Morning for only 99 cents. And they're these beautiful jack-o'-lanterns with some candy corn in there. How perfect, right? And then I also have these two ribbons. Well, I have more than this, too much. But this one says Happy Thanksgiving, and this one just kind of matches this color palette here. So I may or may not use those. And then I have a stamp set that I got from Oriental Trading that I found when I was sifting through the other day. So, and then I also found, if I can get this out of here, I also found this little Stampin' Up! Stamp set. I bought this on eBay. I like it. It's got a little Happy Thanksgiving, and then it has this Thankful for You, which you can tell I've obviously used. It has a solid heart, and then it says there's no such thing as too much pie, and then this one, holiday calories don't count. So yeah, I thought they were cute, and like I said, I bought that one on eBay. It was apparently a paper pumpkin stamp set at one time, but somebody was selling it on eBay, and I needed a Thanksgiving stamp, so I bought it. And I think I paid something silly like, I don't know, a couple of dollars. I have a stamp set, or a stamp, it's a woodblock stamp with red rubber of this pumpkin. It used to say to and from, but I carved that part out because I didn't want to use it. I wanted to use it just as a pumpkin, not a to and from anything. So I'm going to stick this little guy here on the inside, down here in this corner. I think it'll be cute. And the card base that I'm using is a pre-made card base. I bought them at Michael's, not last year, but year before. And I bought this paper. It's from a 12 by 12 paper stack. It is a DCWV paper stack. And that does not look straight. It's not straight. I hate this one trimmer that I have. I cannot cut paper straight with it to save my life. And I don't know why. It's the only one that gives me as much grief and as much trouble as it does. Let's just do this by 5. Hang on. I think it's the other end that's crooked. It is. What's the width on it? Because I need to check that. Alright, so this one I'm going to do 3 3/4 by 5. The bigger one is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then my card base is a standard A2 pre-made card base. So this should go together pretty quick. Pretty quick. Yeah, I like that. But do I want to use ribbon? That's the question. And if I do I want to stamp anything or not? Because I could do 2 mats on the inside as well. One would need to be white or a light color. A light solid color. Let me put these two together real quick. I thought life was going to slow down just a little bit because it's been clocking along at such a steady pace and seems to be getting past me in a hurry. And I thought, everything would kind of calm down. No, it didn't happen. That did not happen. I don't think that side's straight either. Good grief. My son moved out last year. You guys that's been with me a while, I mentioned it. And my son has always been the type of person who, if anybody ever needed any help, especially if they were his friends or family, he would be there. He would be the first one there. And he's been that way all his life. I say all that to say, I think I'm just going to use this Happy Thanksgiving ribbon on the front and not the other one. I think that would be cute, and I wouldn't have to use that stamp if I position this right. So let's do that. Anyway, that hasn't changed. He's still just I lost my pen. There it is. He is just exactly like that today at nearly 25. Good God, I can't believe my son will be 25 in less than 3 weeks. Time flies. Absolutely flies. At any rate, so he dated this girl, a couple of years ago, and then they were on again, then they were off again, they were on again, and they were off again. You know how young people do. Well, that's what they were doing. Couldn't decide if they wanted to date each other or not, and he was pretty smitten with her, so he preferred to date. However, if that's not what she wanted, then no problem, He didn't want to lose their friendship because they'd been friends for so long. I think I'm going to put this, let's see, let's put this here. I'm going to cut too much of this ribbon off, but that's okay. This ribbon I got from Michaels as well. If you're ever looking for this kind of ribbon, or I think you can even buy it something similar at Hobby Lobby. Alright, so anyway, they maintained their friendship in spite of being on again, off again, and all that stuff. They maintained being very good friends. And the last time that they were on again, she was living at her brother's house because her mom had kicked her out. Now, bear in mind, we are talking about an adult. So she was living with her brother, and a lot of the same stuff that was happening at her mom's house was happening at her brother's house. Why? Because she didn't think she did anything wrong, so therefore she didn't need to change anything. At any rate, the brother got fed up and kicked her butt out. But I jumped ahead too much. When they were on again the last time, the brother was threatening to kick her out, and she was worried about being homeless. And my son, being the beautiful soul that he is, said, I will not allow you to be homeless. If you get kicked out, come to my house, and you can stay with me till you get on your feet, for a few months. Or what he said was for about a month, and then you should be on your feet enough that you can get yourself an apartment. Well, that was when they were seeing each other the last time, but they quit seeing each other, and he said, I'm still your friend, no matter, because I care about you, as my friend. How in the world? Fort Knox has nothing on this packaging. Where in the world? How many times do I have to cut this apart? oh, that's neat. This gives you kind of a little guide for a pouch or like a credit card, not a credit card, debit card, or not a debit card, gift card. There we go. That gift card would probably fit in this perfectly, so I need to cut that out and keep it. Alright, so they quit seeing each other for the final time, and she was still scared that her brother was going to kick her out, and he said, if he does, come to my house. I'm not going to let you be on the streets, and you can stay at my house for about a month until you get on your feet and can get yourself an apartment. So she calls him and says, my brother kicked me out, for the same exact reason that her mother had kicked her out. And now, mind you, I don't know these people. I don't know her mom. I don't know her. I don't know them. So I reserve judgment. And it's not my place to judge anybody, quite frankly. I'm no saint. I've screwed up in my lifetime. But anyway, that was in June. So, sure enough, she called him, said, I got kicked out. I don't have anywhere else to go. He said, I told you you could come to my house if you needed to. Don't worry about it. Just come on over. So she did. And he said, you can stay about a month until you get on your feet. And she was all happy about that and felt all relieved and, there's my dealy-doober. Now I gotta peel these backs back off. Good grief. Talking and not paying attention. So the month would have been July 25th. So she had until July 25th to, save up a little bit of money until she could get her own place and, not have to worry about things. Now we're talking about a girl that will be 25 this weekend. An adult, it is time to grow up type moment. So, when she came in his house, he gave up his bedroom. He said, no, you're a female. You should have my bedroom. You can sleep in my bed. I'll sleep on the couch. It's no big deal. Thinking that this is going to be for a month, no big deal. Well, July 25th came and went, and she was still there. And me, as a mom, I'm thinking only of my son and his best interest. And he gets stressed really easily, and things bother him, and he bottles it up, and then just gets really angry about stuff. And he got that from me. I firmly believe that, because I was that way when I was younger. It was unintentional. It was learned behavior that I had to work hard to break. I guess I should have checked that before I glued that pumpkin in there, but it looks like it's working perfectly. Just like it was supposed to. Do I want to stamp anything in there? I could stamp this thankful for family. No, I'm not. I'm going to find some dots to put on it. I am trying so desperately to use up the stuff that I have. I need to put a heart on there, so I'm going to just use one of these little guys. So the 25th came, And she said she did not have the money to move. Could she please stay a little bit longer? He felt sorry for her, told her yes, and she just took it as I can stay here until whenever. Well, that's not okay. And as his mom, I kept saying, wait a minute, that is your home. That's the home that you have worked for. That is the home that you're paying for. Because she did not pay one dime. She bought toilet paper once in 2 months. She left her dishes either on the counter or in the sink for him to do. It was just absurd. So I told him, I said, son, I know it's your life. I know you're an adult. But I want you to look at something, and I explained a few things, and he was like, yeah, Mama, you're right. Well, then, I told him, I said, if she's going to be there longer, she needs to pay at least half of your rent. Because in the apartments that he lives in, they pay the rent, the electric, and water. Well, the electric and water both went up, because there were times where she was turning the thermostat down to 70 degrees on 95 and above weather temperatures here, causing the air conditioner to run all the time, which running up his bill, right? What she cares, she's not paying it. So he told her, he said, look, you can stay until August 31st, and then you've got to go. If you're going to be here beyond that, you're going to have to pay this amount of money, and he told her what amount of money. That night, after that conversation, she blocked him on all social media and started ignoring him in his home. Well, that was it, that was the straw. So he told her, he said, you need to pack your things and leave. And she said, but you told me I had until August 31st. And he said, yeah, until you acted like a child, so it's time for you to go. I've packed everything that was out here. You pack up everything in there, and I want you gone today. So she kind of threw a hissy fit, started trying to manipulate him and stuff like that, and he just wasn't falling for it. All of the little tricks that had worked on him before wasn't working, and she said, well, I need to have somebody come over to help me move. He said, that's fine. So he stepped outside, which he audio recorded it, and he has a home security system that records 24 hours a day. And in the area that all of this took place was in the area where the cameras were. And so he called me and he said, Mom, she's going to have somebody come over and help her move. Would you please come over here just to be here? And I said, sure, I'll come over there. And he knows that I'm a person that speaks my mind. Most people don't have to wonder what I'm thinking because I'm probably going to tell you. And I know that's not necessarily a good thing. However, in some situations, it's a necessary thing. So I told him when I got there, because he stepped outside, and I said, I won't say a word unless she draws me into a conversation. At which point, yes, I will say something. I said, but you have nothing to worry about. So I was there maybe about 20 minutes while she was walking around crying and poor me and all that stuff. Come to find out, she had not been saving money for the whole 2 months that she was there. She said she didn't have any money in her bank account. He said, why not? You haven't paid for anything for 2 months. You're going to work every day. Why don't you? So I got over there and we sat down and started talking. And he was going to help load stuff in her car. And I said, no, son, this is a valuable lesson that she needs to learn. And whoever's coming to help her can help her. And I said, I know it sounds harsh. I said, but this young lady needs to learn something. She's broken all ties with her family or, burned bridges. And It's more burned bridges. She still has ties to them. So she started making these little snide comments about, well, does she know this and does she know that? And she was pointing at me every time she said she. So I finally had my fill, and I said, wait a minute. She has a name, and her name is Kim, and if you have something that you think I need to know, you need to address me directly. Which caught her off guard. And so she started popping off all this stuff, and I said, child, you are not telling me one thing about my son that I don't already know. He's not a perfect individual. I'm not a perfect individual, and you are far from it. You have a lot of lessons to learn because you are basically screwing over everyone that has been willing to help you grow as a human being. I said, it's time for you to grow up. So she covered up her face and she made crying sounds, but when she looked at me, there wasn't a tear one on her face, in her eyes, not anything. She said, I'm having a panic attack, which, let me just say this. I have anxiety. I have had it all of my life. I've had bouts of depression, and my son has anxiety and panic attacks. So I said to her, you know, my anxiety's up a little bit too. It has been for a little while, concerned about my son. And my son has scoliosis. Sleeping on his couch has made his back hurt. And I mean, rightfully so. So anyway, she tried to con and manipulate me, and I said, young lady, I am 50 years old. I don't have time or the patience for silly little games. Your stuff is packed. Start packing it in your car because you are leaving. Of course, my son was a little bit mad at me because I spoke to her. But when I explained to him, I said, but wait, son, she was addressing me. She was wanting to know if I knew this and if I knew that. Well, speak directly to me. I said, I've taught you all your life that I will never say anything behind someone's back that I won't say to their face. I said, haven't I? He said, yeah, you're right about that. I said, if it'd been you, what would you have done? He said, yeah, I would have spoken up too. I said, okay then. At any rate, she is now gone. And the foolishness has subsided. And I just told him, I said, look, son, I know you want to help people, and some people you can help. I said, but you can't help people that don't want to help themselves. And I said, she's proven to you, not only the times that you've been on again, off again in a relationship, but also this past 2 months, that she doesn't want to help herself. She wants somebody to take care of her. That's what she wants. She wants somebody to wait on her hand and foot. She wants somebody to pay all her bills. That's what she wants. I said, son, I've seen this. I've heard this song. And I said, I know this is your experience. I said, but hopefully others won't take advantage of you in this lifetime. I said, unfortunately, it happens. I said, my goodness, it still happens to me and Andy from time to time. And I pointed that out, and he said, yeah, you're right. And he hadn't been sleeping but about 2 or 3 hours a night, so he's been constantly exhausted. And so he came over here with me for a little bit after she was gone yesterday because he's going to miss her dog. He took care of her dog. She did not take it out one time in 2 months that she lived there. Not once. He took that dog out. He took care of that dog. That dog was so skinny I could feel every one of its bones. I said this to my son. I said, if she's going to stay here, promise me that someone will give this dog some different dog food because he is skin and bones, dangerously skinny. So my son went and bought dog food for the dog that was better quality, and lo and behold, the dog gained about 3 pounds in about 4 weeks. So anyway, I knew he was going to miss the dog because, you know, he's still grieving the loss of our dogs. But I said to him, I said, I want you to go into your home that we cleaned on. I said, when we get back there, I want you to turn on some music, lock the doors, close the blinds, and dance naked throughout your house and say, oh my gosh, it's just me. He kind of laughed, which he needed a good laugh, which is why I said that to him. I said, but on a serious note, go in, take a hot bubble bath, and then we put clean sheets and clean blankets on your bed. He and I did. We were talking. That's why I was helping him. As we were talking, I was on one side of the bed, he was on the other, so naturally I helped him. I said, you know that you've got all clean bedding. Take a nice hot bubble bath. Turn on an audio book or a video or a movie or a something and just relax in your bed and sleep comfortably in your bed. There is a gnat in here. So I think he felt better by the time he left, and then when I talked to him today, he said yes, he had a very restful sleep, and yes, he got a lot of sleep. So I was so grateful to hear that. And I told him, I said, you know, son, I don't know everything. And I'm the first one to say I don't know everything. But what I don't know, I bet I know people that do know something about whatever that subject is. And if I don't, I can sure find some answers. I said, so you will grow and do the same thing. I said, you know, man, and unfortunately not everybody that has been young at any point is responsible at 25 years old. So I'm done yakking you guys' ears off. You're just sitting here staring at my pumpkin. I think he turned out cute. And I love that it has that gold mirrored on the back. Anyway, thanks for listening to my ramblings. I guess I should have used some of the candy corn, but I didn't. Oh well. Again, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I mean, it's super easy. Anybody could do this, and you don't have to have die cuts when you can buy some beautiful stickers really cheap. And granted, they're 50 cents. If you broke it down to the big stickers, then yes, they're 50 cents per sticker. However, there were the 2 images, and then there's 4 candy corn, and 99 cents. If you don't have a die cutter and dies, these are perfect. I don't have a pumpkin one in my die set, or die stash, whatever, so I need to buy some. So don't think you have to go out and spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to make cute cards, because you simply don't. And on this, I didn't stamp anything. I used my ribbon and let it do the talking for me. And, you know, I don't know how much I paid for that. It's originally $2.99, and I probably got it 40 or 50% off. Well, I know I did, or I wouldn't have bought it. I wouldn't have paid $3 for a roll of ribbon. It would have had to have been a big roll of ribbon. Anyway, thanks for spending some time with me. I certainly appreciate it. I hope you all have a great day and a glorious tomorrow. Bye, guys.